All right, I think we're all set after a year. With that, will everyone please, I'll call this regularly scheduled meeting virtually of the Rotterdam Zoning Board of Appeals to order. Will everyone please rise for the pledge? I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States
of the United
America,
States of America, to the republic for which it stands,
stands one nation, under God,
indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Stephanie, you want to go
Yes,
with?
I will read my notice. I have confirmed that tonight's Zoning Board of Appeals meeting has been convened in accordance with the Governor's March 13th, 2020 executive order and further extended by executive order, which suspends certain provisions of the open meetings law to allow a municipal board to convene a meeting via video conferencing. In accordance with the executive order, the public has been provided with the ability to view tonight's meeting, and a transcript will be provided at a later date. The Zoning Board of Appeals clerk has done a roll call. Lisa, you're up.
Chairman Eads,
Here.
Vice Chairman Malillo,
Here.
Mr. Bonnequist,
Here.
Mr. Stremenga,
Here.
Mrs. Rapazzo,
Here.
Stephanie DeLallo Bitter,
Here.
Mr. Comenzo,
Here.
and I'm here.
Oh, good. Welcome, Lisa. And there is a quorum present for this meeting. I have also confirmed with the Zoning Board of Appeals clerk that this meeting has been duly noticed. We have fulfilled our legal requirements by providing the direction to the public in the newspaper through a publication and posting such notice on the town's homepage of its website. Over to you, Chairman.
Okay, thank you, Steph. All right, everyone. The agenda for tonight, there are 3 applications. The first one being that of Philip and Kathleen Morris at 47 Skimmerhorn Road. Mr. Morris, I know you're here, you're with us. Would you like to make your presentation?
Sure. Kathleen and I will kind of go back and forth here. The image you have is a Google Earth image of, probably about half of our property. It's 4.2 acres, including the uphill part on the west side of Skirmerhorn Road, which is not in the image at all, but Skirmerhorn cuts through it. The house was first built in 1701 and added onto in 1760, and was built facing the river, which is to the east, which of course you can't see because there's a throughway and wetlands, and most importantly, the canal, which was built and separated the house from the river. So the front door to the house is roughly where the words main house are in your drawing. That's the front door. We put an addition on the north side of the house and established an entry that is into a new entry room in order to try to reorient the house a little tiny bit. So as one of the variances we are requesting is that when Skirmerhorn Road was built and the front door of the house no longer had a road coming from the river, our front door became the back door from a legal point of view. And the garage has always been, the old garage has always been behind the house towards Skirmerhorn. And so the variance that we're asking is that we continue to do that because it's oddly not our front door any longer. Our front, it is our backyard from many points of view. Do you want to say something to that?
Well, only that and this is Kathleen speaking, I'm here too. We're not really we are changing the position somewhat of the garage we hope to build when we tear down the existing one, but it's still in relatively the same position relative to the house. It's not a new thing, it's just a slightly bigger thing.
So that leads to the second request on the variance, which is size. I love cars and would like to be in a position, and obviously this is driven by us as people, not the environment, to have a larger garage than the 900 square feet that is in the code. Because it's 4.2 acres of land, the scale of it seems correct. In fact, there once was a large barn on the property. So we're hoping that variance is kind of straightforward. The third variance being requested is height. I do not know what the code is for height. I think it's 14, and we're asking for 18. And that's largely to accommodate putting a cupola on it, which we will have toward the house and the eastern end of the property. The land is kind of a slump from where it's marked 65 feet rear of proposed garage to the street. Well, that dot, the white dot that shows where the garage would land, the new building, is probably 40 feet below the street.
In other words, no matter the new garage as well as the existing one, all you will see of it from the street pretty much is the roof, which is what is true currently, because our property, and this is hard to see from the overhead view, but our property is on a very steep downhill. The house and garage, all you really see is the roof of it from the road. And that's not going to change. That height thing is not going to change much at all, any appreciable way from the street view. And the cupola we're adding just to try to make a metal building more attractive and more in keeping with the old nature of a house that's built in 1701 and 1760s. 150 years or more before Skirmahorn Road even existed.
Then beside our desire, that we're driving this, we're also driven by the fact that the land, once called the Skirmahorn Slump, this piece of property
In our
is
deed,
almost
it's called.
It's almost level. It's a little bit. It goes where the proposed garage is almost flat. It goes up a couple of feet, and then about 10 or 12 feet behind the proposed garage is this 30-foot hill. I mean, almost not climbable. That land has been a water problem from when we owned the house, and from what our neighbors have said who have lived here since on and off since he was a child, Jim Schaefer, born and raised next door. It's always been a water problem. So we are kind of excited to solve the water problem by doing a good job with drainage and bringing it down to the drainage that goes down to the
Artesian well.
A well that we have. And so the plan is to put in adequate drainage, a concrete pad with a small retaining wall, and then a building on top of it.
And this is Kathleen. Just to make it clear, on your picture, to the right of the words that say main house, there's like a circle with a light circle with a dark dot in it. That dark dot is an artesian well that has run for time immemorial. It's why the house was built here many years ago. And the drainage system, which will be immense and be under the entire area of both the existing garage and the new added amount, is going to drain all that land in what's called the Skirmerhorn slump on our deed. And to the left, or on your page, it would be on
North.
the top, the north of the building, down along the garage, the pavement, and that series of garden beds, and root it into that spring, which flows out in a little stream that flows into the wetlands, into the little lake that's in the wetlands. So it'll be flowing water instead of water backing up and destroying the foundation of our new building that is partly responsible for the condition of the old garage, whose foundation was compromised by sitting in water all the time. In fact, for several years in the winter, our existing garage has been like an ice rink on the inside of the garage. There's so much frozen water on the floor. That is part of many problems with the existing garage, and also part of why we're replacing it.
Thank you. We're done.
Okay, thank you for that very thorough explanation of your application. Is there anything else you'd like to add at this time?
Just answer any
Any
questions.
questions anybody
Okay,
has,
well,
we might
that's
put
what
them
we'll
in
get,
clear.
that's what we'll get to. If you're all set for now, we'll open the application to members. I'll open the hearing and ask members of the board if they have any questions or comments. Mr. Bonnequist?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First, I'd like to thank Dr. Schaefer for the information and kind of the historical perspective that he provided. I think the criteria has pretty much been met. While this is in fact a substantial variance, given the siting of the proposed garage, I don't see that as being an issue. So at this point, I don't have any questions.
Okay, Mr. Malillo?
I agree with Mr. Bonnequist. Due to the elevation of the house and the garage, I don't see an issue.
Okay, excuse me, Mr. Semenga?
Hi. I don't have any really questions because of I spoke with Mr. and Mrs. Morris for a while last week, and I think that would be a good for the neighborhood improvement, and it would be a definitely improvement on the property. Thank you.
Mrs. Reprazzo?
I don't have any questions at this time.
Okay, and I'd just like to say that I did also meet with Mr. and Mrs. Morris, and based on his explanation given to us this evening, to you folks, they did discuss it with me, and I do see the need. The garage that's there now is a little bit on the leaning side. The fact that he has need for a larger garage because of the vehicles that I had to address that were in the driveway, supposedly, in this parking area. I had the luxury of having to back up that driveway because I couldn't turn around with my truck. So I can definitely see the need to get, to have the building there, and it's not going to be it will not inhibit the existing driveway in any way. And I do see the need for what he was speaking about or alluding to in regards to the water coming down the hill and the need for the retaining wall that he spoke of, which is all part of the necessary things that have to be done in order to protect the garage that he wants to put up from what happened to the one that's been there for so many years. I feel that they did a very thorough job in explaining their application. And with that, I don't have any questions or concerns of the applicant. Stephanie? Any-
I'm not sure that the public hearing was open. That would be my only concern. And I know the county review deemed this to be exempt and deferred to local review. And I just remind you to do so. Thank you.
Yeah, I think I did allude to opening the hearing. I didn't open it or officially, but as I started, I said I'll open the hearing. So anyway, it's open. And Peter, do you have any comments?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Anyone in the audience who would like to speak on behalf of this application, either for or against?
This is Jim Schaefer. You have my written comments, which unfortunately were quite delayed because I didn't get notice until quite late, and I was out of town. I was up in the Adirondacks fighting a snowstorm. But Kathleen and Philip are our neighbors. They have explained to us very thoroughly what they plan to do. In my note to everybody, I think everything that they're planning on is fantastic. Solves a major water problem for them, and it's an ongoing wet problem for all of us along the edge of Skimmerhorn Road. So there's nothing unique about their circumstance, but the fact that they have had serious problems in their existing garage, a garage that goes back to when I was a kid and even earlier. So it's been there a long time. It's dilapidated and it needs to be replaced, and their plan is perfect. From our point of view next door, we are hardly going to see the new building at all. Shrubs and trees and the natural terrain block it from our point of view, so we're happy for them and delighted that we have the opportunity to say something. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Schaefer. And as was mentioned, Peter did get a copy of your notice to all the board members prior to the meeting. So, with that, Stephanie, any comments?
No, you can, like I said, just do seeker and then you can close the public hearing.
Right. All right, with that, I'll, in regards to secret, declare that this project is by classification as a type 2 action under secret pursuant to New York CRR Part 617.5 C17, because this is a granting of an area variance for a single-family home, and as a result, it is therefore exempt from secret. And as you stated, the county defers to local consideration in regards to this application. With that, Mr. or Mrs. Morris, is there anything else you'd like to add at this time?
I would like to thank the committee and our neighbor, Mr. Schaefer, for being so thorough and paying attention to our application.
Okay, thank you. With that, anything else from members of the board? Hearing none, I'll call for a motion on this project.
I make a motion that the variances be granted as requested.
Motion's been made by Mr. Bonnequist. Second?
I second.
Second by Mr. Semenga. On the question, hearing none, will the secretary call for a vote?
Mr. Malillo,
I vote yes.
Mr. Stremanga,
Yes.
Mr. Bonnequist,
Yes.
Mrs. Rapazzo,
Yes.
Chairman Eads.
As far as the criteria, I believe the applicant made a very thorough explanation of the criteria. I do not believe that it will create a undesirable change to the character of the neighborhood. And as far as the variance, that can it be received, or, be achieved by some other means, based on the fact that he has the need for a larger building for his cars and anything else that he may want to put in the structure. Under the circumstances, I feel it will not affect that lot that he has there. He has plenty of acreage in comparison to the fact that he's limited to the same square footage that a garage in the town would by the ordinance. So I don't feel that it's substantial in any means in relation to taking all things into consideration. And as far as whether or not it will have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions, based on his explanation of the drainage and with the concurrence of Mr. Schaefer's comments, I believe that he will be improving the situation in that area rather than being detrimental to it. And as far as being self-created, the fact that he's choosing to do something that is over and above what the ordinance in the town, the way the ordinance in the town reads right now, makes it self-created, but that is one thing that most of the applications before us fall into that category. And we realize, as a board, we realize this. Therefore, I don't have anything else other than that. So, will the Secretary, with that, will the Secretary call for a vote?
Already did that, Phil. You just need
I'm
to say
sorry.
yes.
I rambled on for so long I forgot. All right. Therefore, I vote yes to grant the variances as applied for. With that, Mr. and Mrs. Morris, your application's been granted.
Thank you, Mr. Eads, for your time, and thank you all for your participation. Much appreciated.
Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Schaefer, for your comments also. All right. With that, the next item on the agenda is that of Syed Hassan and Ubagara Hassan of 1141 Vinewood Avenue. Mr. Hassan, are you there?
Hi. Hello. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, I think we all can.
Okay,
Everybody
thank
can
you.
hear him? Go ahead. Can you give us the facts pertaining to your application?
Sure. Thank you so much, everyone, for giving me the opportunity to explain the situation. I'll be speaking on behalf of myself and my wife, Rubab Zara Hassan. She's just taking care of our little one because if she's around, nobody can listen anything, and I cannot talk anything. So she's just taking care of her right now. So we are requesting variance on two accounts. One is the height of our fence because we have a corner lot. It's right adjacent to the town hall. It's by the Vinewood Avenue. So because it's a corner lot, so it applies the rules because the side lot and the front yard is both considered as front yard. So the fence that we are putting, we are requesting a variance on two accounts. One is the height of the fence. That is, the permissible height is 4 feet, but we are going up to 6 feet. And the other variance that we are requesting is the opaqueness of the fence. The reason we are putting this fence is because we have a little one. She's almost 3 years old, and she likes to run around, and it's just we are trying to cover our backyard so that we just have a private space for her where she can run easily, and and we don't have to worry about her running towards the road or where there are cars and there are people walking around. So that's why we just wanted to put a fence. And the way that we are putting the fence, I did made like a hand drawing. It's the 5th page of my application, and it just starts from the one wall by the garage, and it just folds back into the property by the porch. So it's basically from Vinewood Avenue. It's almost like 53 feet away. Like it's not this fence is not, is not any hindrance to our neighbors, to the neighborhood. It's just covering our backyard so that we have a private space where we are, easily we can, have some, family time, and we are not worried that, our daughter will just, run around and go to the road. And two of our neighbors have already fences in place, so we don't have to do anything there. The only variance that is being requested is the fence that is, starting by the garage, and then it just folds by the back porch of the house. And the other reason we wanted this private space is because since COVID started, me and my wife are both working from our home, and it's just good that if the weather is nice outside, we can sit in our porch and do our work just to have in the private area. And then as far as a substantial, in my opinion, it's not a substantial variance. It's just covering our backyard, and it does not create any hindrance or any bad impact to the neighborhood. That's my presentation. If anybody has any questions, please let me know.
Okay, thank you. Questions from members of the board? Mr. Malillo?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, looking at the sketch, what is the 6-foot fence he's referring to? Is it across his driveway and garage?
Yes, so you see by where the garage is, there is just this one fence that is almost 25 feet, and then it folds back towards the house, and that length is almost 16 feet.
And that is the 6-foot fence you're looking for there?
Yes.
What type of fence is that?
It's a wooden fence, standard wooden fence.
Okay, so you can't get to your garage from your driveway? Is that what you're saying? You're just putting it across your driveway, or is it a big opening going to be there? Or?
Yes, so we will be putting like a gate that, if we have to use our garage, there will be a gate. So our driveway will be covered, but there will be a gate that can be opened and closed.
And how far would it go against the Vinewood Avenue there? I mean, you have to stay within your property lines.
Sorry, I didn't follow the question. Can you please repeat?
Are you going towards the Vinewood Avenue, or is it just turning at the garage and going to the garage?
So it turns back to garage. So it starts from the back porch of our house, goes 16 feet towards the right side, and then it folds back into the garage. So it's not going towards the road. And from the fence corner, I basically measured the corner of the fence and the Vinewood distance. From one corner, it's 47 feet, and from the back corner, it's 53 feet away from the Vinewood Avenue.
Okay, and then on the other spot where you say open space, is that a 4-foot fence you're putting there? Where you have it labeled number 5, you say 4 feet. Is that the fence is 4 feet high, or is it 4 feet long?
It's 3 to 4 feet long. The height will still be 6 feet. Our back door, our backside neighbors have already a fence, but there's a small space between our garage, back wall, and their fence. So we are just putting a little fence inside the garage, inside our side, just to cover that. So our daughter just can't find a way to just run from that side and go towards the road.
Okay. Thank you. No further questions.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay, Mr. Semenga.
I don't have any question. I spoke to Ms. Hassan today. He explained to me the situation the way he just said to everybody else. So, and I don't have no problem. I'll give the variance.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Rapazzo.
I don't have any questions at this time. Thank you.
Okay, I don't have any questions. I'd like to say that I did meet with Mr. Hassan, and we discussed the application and reviewed the criteria, which he did explain. As we were talking there, who went by but the building inspector that is going to be be issuing the permit if his variance application passes. And, was the one that told him that the fence that he put up, he would have to stop, you know, that he misinterpreted the way the code read, but he did stop as he was asked to, as far as the part of the fence that's up, and we appreciate that. So, I don't have any questions. I feel that the applicant, described it to my satisfaction anyway. I don't know how about the rest of them. As far as the fence, Angelo, the one that's in behind the house, that's 6 feet, that you were asking about, the open space one?
It's on the side of the house, at the back of the house, you're saying, which looks like it's a straight.
One that, at the end of the open fence, adjacent to the neighbor's,
Adjacent to the neighbor's driveway, correct. That's that little angled fence
the
there.
little angled thing. Yeah, that really is still in his backyard,
Okay,
because it's behind the house. But
okay.
anyway, I feel that he, in my estimations, satisfied the criteria.
Mr. Chairman, you forgot Mr. Bonnequist.
Oh, well, I'm not, all right, yeah, I did forget him. That's the second thing I forgot tonight. Okay, Bruce, or Mr. Bonnequist.
That's okay, Mr. Chairman. Although I didn't speak with the applicant based on my site visit, I didn't see any adverse impact where the fence might obstruct vision along the road or on that corner. So other than that, I really don't have any questions.
Okay, thank you. Stephanie? Or Ms. Bitter, any comments?
No comments or questions, Chairman.
Okay. Peter, anything? No comment. Okay, with that, close this hearing. And as far as the secret, just bear with me for a minute until I find the right paper. Here we go again. Secret, in regards to secret, I'd like to declare that this project, by classified as a type 2 action under secret pursuant to 6 NYCRR Part 61.75 C17, because this is a granting of an area variance for a single-family home. As a result, it is therefore exempt from secret. There is no county review in regards to this application. With that, there's nothing else from members of the board. I'll call for a motion on this project.
I make a motion to grant the variance as requested.
Motion been made by Mr. Semenga. Second?
Second,
Second by Mr. Bonnequist. Will the secretary please call for the vote?
Mr. Malone,
I vote yes.
Mr. Shemenga,
Yes.
Mr. Bonnequist,
yes.
Mrs. Rapazo,
I vote yes.
Chairman,
Based on the applicant's presentation, as far as the being good and the criteria, I feel that he has satisfied the criteria to my satisfaction in all regards. Therefore, I vote yes to grant the variance also. By unanimous vote, your application's been granted. Thank you, Mr. Hassan.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman, and all the board members. I really appreciate you guys hearing my application and approving it. Thank you so much.
Okay, and just, I guess you can check in a day or so with the town, and they will let you know when you can get your permit.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. All right, with that, we go to the third item on the agenda, and that is the application of Agatha Stremenga of 1001 Kelly Street, Rotterdam, New York.
Chairman, if you'd like me to make a statement, I can at this time.
Okay, thank you, Steph. Go ahead.
You're welcome. It is our understanding that this applicant is the wife of our board member, Alex Stremenga, and as a result, Mr. Stremenga is going to recuse himself It is appropriate for him to present an application before the zoning board of appeals since he is a town resident and has town property. As a result, he will be proceeding as the applicant's presenter at this time.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Semenga.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. My name is Alex Stramenga, and I'm over here on behalf of Agatha Stramenga, my wife. We decided to put an addition to our property, and by do so, I need a variance for the room, which is about 32 square feet and about 3 feet for the height. Because I need more room, and also I want to enclose my some kind of greenhouse to protect my fig trees. And then we go over to the application to answer all your questions to the members.
Okay, why do you propose, well, you want to go through as far as the variance with the criteria, why do you propose our variance will not create an undesirable change to the character or be a detriment to nearby properties?
Well, it's going to be in addition to the existing storage shed, also used for greenhouse purpose.
Okay. Can the benefit you seek by this variance achieved by your request be achieved by some other means? If not, describe why there are no alternatives.
Due to the size needed for what I want to construct, I also need area for gardening.
Okay, is this request substantial from the ordinance?
I'm asking for the 32 square feet variant and 3 feet in height. Probably the height is going to be less than 3 feet. I'm not quite sure of the way my solar panel is going to come up together, but they won't be over 3 feet for sure.
Okay, thank you. And why do you believe the proposed variance will not have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood?
With regards to the environmental condition, I don't believe anything will change. I do not believe there will be an adverse effect to the neighborhood.
Okay, and how the difficulty arose and why it was not self-created?
I know it's self-created. I need additional space for storage due to my previous render storage damaged by fire on October 18, 2020. I also need the height for the grown fig trees.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm sorry. Questions from members of the board? Mr. Stephanie. I'm not Stephanie. Rachel. Mrs. Rapazzo. I gotta get a little bit more formal here.
Yes, Rachel, not Stephanie, but no, I don't have any questions, thanks.
Okay. Mr. Bonnequist.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. While I didn't speak with the applicant based on my site visit, I don't see where there's any type of adverse impact on the neighborhood or on the immediate environment. And I do not see this as being a substantial variance. So based on that, I don't have any questions.
Mr. Malillo.
I agree with Mr. Bonnequist. I don't see a substantial variance here. The only thing I was wondering is if we are going to have figs in the September meeting on the Wednesdays. I know they're ready on Wednesday in September, if he brings them in.
If you give me the variance, you're going to have all kinds of figs you're going to have.
Yeah, but if we don't start meeting in person, Angelo, you're not going to get the figs anyway.
He can put them on his doorstep. I'll come by and pick them up.
Okay.
your mother be here before you do.
That's for sure.
Okay. As far as my comments, before I say anything, I'd just like to say that Alex, not only being a member of the board, he is a personal friend of mine, and for the record, I would disclose that I am looking at this application just like I do any other application comes before us, and I will rule on it the way I would if it was a complete stranger. As far as the criteria, I know that initially he went from 3 feet to 3 feet from the property line. He changed it to 5, which eliminated the need for a side yard variance. And I did speak with both neighbors that are involved. The property owner where it says Purcell on the drawing, which is towards Marival Road from Mr. Semenga's yard. I spoke to the owner who was rehabbing the house that's there, and we discussed what was asked for. Alex had spoken to him, and he said that he has no problem with anything that he's, with the part that he's trying, the application, in other words, was the improvement that he's trying to make, or the reasons for the greenhouse. And then just today, I was able to speak with the daughter of the property owner under Burt Wintle, and that the daughter said that she's speaking for her mother, who's unfortunately right now in the hospital. She has no problem with what Mr. Semenga is proposing. He spoke to them also, or to her anyway. So with that disclosure and my opinions on the criteria, I don't have a problem with this application. Bitter. Any comments?
I don't think you did seeker yet. That would be my only comment.
Oh, okay, I didn't get to that yet. Well, we're not done yet. Peter, anything?
No comment.
Okay, as far as the seeker, it's the same thing that we said, that I've been saying every night here. Where is it?
You want me to read it?
Oh, I got it. Secret D, declare that this project, you know what, I'm gonna do that from now on. Everybody's gonna take a turn at this. So you won't get so tired of me saying it. Declare that this project is by classified as a type 2 action under secret pursuant to 6 NYCRR Part 617.5C17, because this is granting of an area variance for a single-family home. As a result, it is therefore exempt from secret. Okay. Once again, in this case of this application, the county refers to local, well, it didn't even go to them. We didn't have to present it to them. It's exempt. With that, any other comments from the board? Nothing from Ms. Bitter? Oh, Peter, anything? Nope. Okay, with that, I'll call for a motion.
I make a motion that the variances be granted as requested.
Motion by Mr. Bonnequist. Second?
I'll second that motion.
Second by Mr. Malillo. On the question, hearing none, will the secretary call for a vote?
Mr. Malone,
I vote yes.
Mr. Bonnequist,
Yes.
Mrs. Rapazzo,
Yes.
Chairman Eads.
Based on my comments in regards to the criteria, I feel that the application is warranted. Therefore, I vote yes to grant the variance also. By unanimous vote, your application's been, well, you didn't vote, but by 4-0, by the voting members of the board on this application, your application's been granted.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you. Okay, with that, next meeting is
May 19th.
May 19th.
Excuse me, Chairman Eads.
Yes,
Can I ask a question for Mrs. Bitter?
yes.
Is there a way that he could just read that seeker right at the beginning for the whole thing instead of doing it for every single applicant?
Well, each application is supposed to be individually reviewed, whether or not it's type 1 or type 2. One of you could review or actually read that segment during your comments because it's in my notes. And that way it's not something he has to read. But yes, we should have it done for every individual application.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll rotate through or whatever. When it comes time for that, somebody can say they'll do it, or I'll do the first one and take it from there. Okay? With that, everyone, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion.
Motion is made.
I second that.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Good enough.
Aye.
I'm not gonna say what I usually say at this time. We'll see what happens next month.
No.